Let's take an example that you are trying to design an application for. Okay, let's say you are a company or you are running a company which takes up projects, client projects, and works on those. Fine. So you are a company, you take up projects and you work on those. Okay, you take up the projects and work on those. You have a few consultants in your company and they work on the projects, right? So you want to use Salesforce for tracking all your projects. Okay, now start understanding it in this way, that okay fine, in case I have a requirement to track all my projects, okay, on Salesforce. So we first of all need to decide what all data would be required to be stored. Okay, and based on that you start building your data model. Okay, so we'll just take this simple example that there is a company which takes up the projects from the clients. They have their consultants who work on these projects. They want to maintain all these projects thing. I have told you earlier that Salesforce is now not just a CRM thing. It can be used for maintaining employees details, vendor details, asset, financial, receivable, payable, whatever. So now today let's work on a small application where we design a project management application on Salesforce where you can maintain your projects. Okay. The moment you start designing an application, first thing that you need to do is open an Excel sheet. Okay. Now before we start creating anything on Salesforce, we need to do a little bit of planning, right? So what all objects we need to design, what all fields we need to design and all, right? So open an Excel sheet. First thing, that this project management app, let me call this as a project management app. So this is what I want to design. Okay. What all data I need to store here? First thing, I need to store projects. Okay. So we need to create a table to store information of all the projects that we have. First thing. Now the moment you put it like this, I would want you to also list down the fields that you need to store in projects. So it's fine that you're creating an object for projects, but which all fields you need to store. Let's say ID of the project, if name is there, name of the project, start date, end date, estimated time. Let's say these are the fields. Okay, this is the data that you want to store in this project object. Okay. Okay, now you want one more object to store your clients information, list of clients, right? So you have different clients from where you get the project. So let's create one more object. Think of one more object, clients. Okay. In the client, again we need an ID, we need a name of the client, we need maybe the city of the client, state of the client, and country of the client, basically the address part, in case I have a phone number. Yep. So right now I have one object called projects, I have one more object called clients, right? So these are basically two tables. So this is what needs to be created in the backend. One more thing I need is list of consultants, people who work for me on the projects. So let me create a small table here. Consultants, ID of the consultant, first name of the consultant, last name, email ID, first name, last name, email ID, let's say a phone number also. All right. So initially what we see that for this project management app, for us to create this project management app, we require three objects, right? So first thing that we'll have to create is at the back end. So you need to create tables in the backend or the objects in the backend so that the data can be stored there, right? After creating the objects, what needs to be done? We need to create the fields. Once the objects are created, next thing will be creating the fields. Okay. So let us do this. Here this is on my screen, so we'll create the objects one by one. We'll create this project, client and consultant object one by one. So creating an object is very simple. You just need to, I'm just writing it down here as well. Just need to go to setup, need to go to create, and then need to click on objects. That's it. After that you need to say new custom object. Okay. Creating field is same, but there for creating a field you need to select the object and then create fields. Records we have already seen. How do we create records? Right. Record is the data that is entered into it. So records is not a challenge. Tab creating, go to setup, create, and then go to tabs. App creating is again simple. Go to setup, create, and then go to apps. That is it. So this is how things will be created. Now we'll come to this. We'll start creating all these things one by one. But before that, there is a small thing that I want to tell you about. That is standard and custom. So in Salesforce, we have two things, standard as well as custom. So like for our object, we have standard object and custom object. Now what is standard object, custom object? Anything which has been provided by Salesforce. Okay, so when you log into Salesforce, you saw that there are so many objects which are already there, right? Campaigns, leads, contact opportunity, these were already there. So these are the objects which are already there in the Salesforce, right? Salesforce does not allow you to delete these objects. It does not allow you to make a lot of changes in this. You cannot make too many changes there. Okay, so that is the reason why these are called standard. So these objects are standard for all of us. Your campaign object you will also have, I will also have, and these will be pretty much similar. You can make only small changes there. Okay, so these are standard objects. Custom objects are the ones that you would create. So what Salesforce has provided is standard, what we create is custom. Okay, and it is applicable for all the things. Standard standard object, custom object, standard field, custom field, standard app, custom app, right? So for almost everything we will have this standard and custom concept. So we just need to understand that what